Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, travel agencies are making a huge comeback, and travel revenge is a big thing these days. We'll be talking to the husband and wife team who own Travel Marks International next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team. And the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I remember in the late 90s when online travel became a thing, we saw all these headlines that this means the death of the entire travel agency model because, you know, if you can save a few bucks and do it online, why wouldn't you? Well, now there's been a big backlash because how many people have had a budget trip booked and they're in some foreign country and they messed up the hotel? Who do you call, right? Are you going to call the online number and wait on hold? No, you call a travel agent, a trusted travel agent. And two people who know a lot about that, Jeff and Allison Bartlett, they own Travel Marks International. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you having us.
Okay, well, let's start with you, Jeff. How did this all start? You guys have been in the travel business for a while.
Yeah, we started our own agency back in 2020, right after COVID hit. I felt there was a big demand for travel coming right out of COVID. People were pent up. They were ready to travel. They were wanting to travel. So we started our agency, and we had been in a brick and mortar competitor for a while prior to COVID, and COVID came in and wiped out pretty much the travel industry. And so the brick and mortar shut down for a while. I decided to go in and make my own way in the travel business and came out at the other side with my own agency, our what we stand for, what we're about, and started building our client base.
Yeah. Allison, let's bring you into this. I mean, what's it like? I mean, you must have the coolest job ever because you got to do research on these countries that you're going to be recommending, right?
Yes, there is research, and yes, it is cool. It's very fun to put together a trip for clients, different places, and they all have different things they want to see and do. So you kind of have to get to know them, and then you get to dig in, and you find some things sometimes that are unexpected, little tours and trips that look really neat, and you're glad you found it for them. So yes, it is lots of fun to do the research, and in some ways you kind of live vicariously through your clients because
we're gonna pull up the website, and as we go down the website, I want you to talk about some of the hot destinations these days. Where do you find that you're booking most of your travel?
Well, Alice and I, the reason why we got started in the travel business was our first trip to Italy about 8 years ago. And we absolutely fell in love with the country, fell in love with the people, fell in love with the food, fell in love with the wine. And it was just a really, really good fit for us. And we just couldn't wait to get back after our first trip. And I remember sitting in a gondola in the Venice Canal and said, hey, you know what? I think we can do this and make a living out of it. So we did. We came back. We started the agency, got involved in travel. And Italy is really a hot spot. It's been a hot spot. It's continuing to be a hot spot. Right behind that is Greece. Behind that, you got Spain and France, and that whole southern Mediterranean area is just really hot. One of the hotter spots that's coming on board right now is Croatia. Croatia's already talking about being over-touristed, but there's still opportunity there, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful country. It's kind of like a second Italy, if you will.
Sure. And Allison, you already alluded that you tailor this to the family. So do you find yourself thinking about them during the trip, saying, I hope everything is to their liking?
Absolutely. And I actually have clients who will text me during their trip, send pictures back, email. So it depends on the client, but some clients will stay very connected through the trip. And we always tell them, if anything happens, call us, even if it's the middle of the night, because usually it is a time difference. So yes, we always think about the clients as they're traveling. So.
Yeah. And Jeff, why don't you talk about when something messes up? And I mean, there's every once in a while you have a flawless trip and there's no hiccups, but we all know when you're traveling to a foreign country, they can just, they messed up the room, they messed up this.
Sure.
So you mentioned something before the show about a bullet train.
Right, exactly. One of the things that keeps me up at night when clients travel is we're counting on people halfway around the world to do their job that we booked them to with. And those are things that are out of our control. One in particular instance was a family we sent to Japan. That was their bucket list trip. They wanted to go to Japan. And we put them on the Shinkansen bullet train from Tokyo. And it just so happened the son wanted to go to a K-pop festival that was there at the same time. So they got on the train, he didn't, and he missed his train. So the mom's calling me while she's on the train. Hey, our son missed the train to our next stop. What do we do? I said, no problem. I already had the schedule laid out. He can just catch the next train in the next hour, and he'll be right an hour behind you guys, and you'll be at the same station. So having that connection, having that ability to contact us and let us know, and one of the things that I've learned in life, sometimes you try to have antisequence for problems that might anticipate consequences that might come up out of the trip. That things happen. Things are going to happen. It's not a perfect world we live in, and somebody's going to drop the ball, and we have to be there to have solutions for them so they can continue on with their way. And one thing I'm adamant about is if a problem comes up, even if it's not our fault, we do what we need to do to get the client on the way with their trip, and we'll deal with all the other stuff later on after they get back.
Yes, and I urge the viewers to follow them on social media because you guys produce a lot of videos. We've put together 3 of them. Let's go ahead and roll that.
What's the best age to take your children to a theme park? We believe the ages between 3 and 12 are the best time for you and your family to go visit the theme parks. It's a great opportunity to create memories, have fun, let the children experience the theme park at that age, but it can also be very stressful, and we know that. Travel Marks International are theme parks expert. Let us take the stress and worry off you and plan that perfect itinerary for your theme park vacation for your family. We have certified agents that deal with Universal, and we have a certified agent on staff who deals with Walt Disney theme parks alone. Here's how I saved a client $23,000 by making sure they had travel insurance for their trip. On the second day of his trip to Spain, the client slipped and fell down a flight of stairs. He was badly injured. As a result of that, they had to cancel the rest of their vacation. He had to get a special flight back to the U.S. He had to have medical transport from his destination to the airport he flew out of in Spain, and they incurred medical expenses during that time as well. All of that totaled up to $23,000 in expenses, and the travel insurance company covered all of it. This is just one example of why we always recommend travel insurance for any trip. You do not want to be traveling without peace of mind. I want to tell you how we offer our personalized concierge travel service. We want to get to know you, we want to meet with you, we want to speak with you, but more importantly, we want to listen to you. We want to find out what kind of traveler you are. Are you an individual traveler? Are you a group traveler? Do you like small groups? Do you like personal private tours? We can do anything you want to do. We just listen and craft that itinerary based on what your wants and needs are. Our goal is to take the stress and the details out of planning for you. Let us handle that for you. Let us craft that perfect itinerary through our expertise and knowledge where you can just sit back and go have fun and be able to come back with great memories on your trip.
Jeff, I sense that you have kind of the heart of a teacher, don't you? I mean, you in order to really share your experience, you have to educate your consumer, don't you?
Absolutely, and the best teacher's experience itself. And that's why we make it a point to go to the destinations that we sell. We want to be able to tell people that where the best little sandwich shop in Florence might be. We want to tell where the best spot in Ia in Greece to see the sunset is going to be. We've been there and done it, and we want to be able to have that experience. We wanted to hear that passion of the travels that we've had and make sure we transfer that passion over to them. They experience that same passion in their trips.
So, Allison, do you get the client that, and I'm going to call it the dream client, the client who says, look, you're the experts. We just want to spend 2 weeks in Italy, and you tell us what we're doing.
Yes, we do get clients like that, and those are fun in some ways, to put together because you get to say, hey, you'll love doing this, you'll love doing that. So we do get clients that just say, here's the destination, this is how long, put something together. So we do get those.
Sure, and getting to know, I imagine there's a little bit of an interview process where my wife and I, we just love to veg out on the beach.
Sure.
So, and other people, they want to hike, they want to see every museum. So tell us about the interview process. How does that work?
Yeah, that all is fleshed out in the interview process. We're going to have, usually we get contacted. As a matter of fact, the majority of our business right now is referral business from clients we've already had, and they'll refer us or come back and do repeat. So after we have that initial contact, we set up a phone interview with them and go through a list of questions. Hey, what kind of travel are you? What kind of hotels do you like to stay in? Are you a foodie? Are you a wine person? What do you like to do? Do you like museums? Do you not like museums? Do you just want to go hike? How active do you want to be on the vacation, or do you just not want to be active at all? Do you want to go spend 3 days in a Tuscan villa, or do you want to go hit Florence and hit all the museums within Florence? So yeah, it's all fleshed out in the interview process, and we pretty much custom tailor that trip that they want around what their wants and needs are.
Absolutely. Allison, I know that there is this myth that, well, it's more expensive using an agent, and that's not true. You actually can save people money because you say, no, you don't want to stay there. That's under construction. You'll have a miserable time in that hotel. This is where you want to stay, right?
Yes, that is true. And the value that you get from the knowledge and the experience, so we do save people money by that, just having them avoid, things that they're not aware of, or also just because we know things that they may need to do. For instance, they may not think about, I need to get a transfer from my hotel back to the rail station if they just book a package online that's just the hotel, just the air. So there's things like that as well, that the unexpected things that might show up in that sense too.
Do you ever run into that family that calls you on a Sunday and says, we leave on Tuesday and I just realized my passport is expired?
As a matter of fact, we did have that very same thing happen. We had a couple that was going to Sandals, Jamaica, and they realized about 2 weeks out they didn't have passports after they told us they had passports. So luckily, the husband had some pull, and they were able to get their passports turned around really, really quick. It was a very, very anniversary type special trip for them. And I sweated a little bit over that, but he was able to pull it off. We got it pulled off with a little help from our end, and luckily everything came out really well on that.
Outstanding. We've got a couple minutes left, so I want you both to give a chance to give final thoughts. If somebody's watching this and says, I think I found my travel agency, what's the next step? They contact you through the web, I imagine?
Yeah, absolutely. Go to travelmarksintl.com, hit the contact us button, it goes right straight to my and hers email, and we'll contact you within 24 hours, if not sooner. And we'll start the conversation about where you want to go and how you want to do it. We'll be happy to do it. And why do you want to use us? Number one, we know the places to go. We know we have the experience. We have the knowledge. We may have special promotions and opportunities that may not be available to anybody else. And we just love you. And we want to gain you as part of our family.
Outstanding. Allison, let's give you the final word. What would you like to leave people with?
I would like to leave them with the idea that travel changes you. Travel leaves a mark on you. As you go through life and through the world, it leaves marks on you. So travel is a great opportunity to learn, to grow and change and experience. And so we love helping people have those great travel experiences, and just really hope that you will allow us to work with you and plan your next trip.
Outstanding. You've been great guests. We're going to end with the website, which is travelmarksintl.com. Jeff and Allison, thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for having us,
you.
Jeff. Appreciate it.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.